A very good evening and thank you for joining me for RTV News. In English, my name is William Evans and I'm here to bring you the latest from the world of news, beginning with the headlines. President Paul Kagame has received outgoing ambassadors of both China and Angola to Rwanda for a farewell meeting as they conclude their tour of duty, while Rwanda Mining Board has revealed that Rwanda continues to attract investors in the capacity and advanced knowledge in the extraction of mineral resources. And the Ministry of Justice has urged Rwandans to learn more and adopt the alternative dispute resolution policy. Of course, many thanks for joining us. Let's kick in the story tonight. On Saturday afternoon at Urugiro Village, President Paul Kagame received outgoing ambassadors of China to Rwanda and Eduardo Filomeno, outgoing ambassador of Angola to Rwanda, for a farewell meeting as they conclude their tour of duty. Rwanda enjoys strong relations with both the People's Republic of China and Angola, engaged in cooperation focusing on a number of key sectors in the country's development. And now, moving on Saturday in Kigali still, awards were presented to entrepreneurs who excelled innovation using artificial intelligence. The first place runner received $300,000, equivalent to over 400 million Rwandan francs. The grand prize went to Hanel Osman Gueye from Senegal, founder and CEO of Ion, a digital health service company, while in second place was Dr. Salma Bongaran from Morocco, founder of Green Watch, a company specializing in water management to prevent water wastage, optimizing usage. All participants noted the significance of the exposure the event has brought to their efforts.
My name is Alexander Odhiambo from Kenya. I'm the CEO of Solutech Limited. Solutech is a technology innovations company, and we serve manufacturers and distributors in FMCG and other sectors where we help their salespeople sell more and efficiently by leveraging powerful insights using an application in the field, and help the managers get real-time data for their day-to-day and strategic decision making. And we have a good number of our functionalities powered by AI. We've leveraged AI in a number of ways, but I'll just mention one. So we are helping field salespeople sell smarter. Because we collect a lot of data, we're using this data to really help them drive conversations. When they go to a souk or a shop, they can already know what those customers can buy. And we are using a lot of image recognitions to understand what is on the shelves, optimizing logistics like loading and route optimizations, because we understand that distribution, the biggest cost in distribution is the biggest costs most of the time is distribution. And so we use AI to try help them reduce the costs. So we have great plans in expanding across Africa. Of course, we have customers across 11 countries in Africa, including Rwanda here. We have 2 customers. We are leveraging partners to expand in these other countries. And I'll just mention, we actually have 1 customer already out of Africa. So we are not just serving Kenya and East Africa, but the whole of Africa. But now we are seeing traction even coming from out of Africa.
My name is Salma Bougarani. I'm coming from Morocco, and my business name is Green Watech. What we are doing, we are transforming wastewater into tons of food. Actually, we are addressing a global issue in a local way. Access to clean water and sanitation is a global issue. More than 2 billion people around the world do not have access to clean water and sanitation, and Africa is the most affected continent. Only in Morocco, more than 15 million people do not have access to basic water and sanitation service. And this year, we are living the worst water crisis ever. So today, we are targeting 2 challenges, 2 problems. The problem of water security, but at the same time, the problem of food security. So water scarcity and food security. We are serving the most vulnerable population in Morocco and then in Africa. So we needed to reduce our unit cost to be able to serve this population and to democratize access to clean water and sanitation for all. This is our mission. We work to democratize access to clean water and sanitation for all the Africans.
Now, these awards are organized annually with the support of Chinese billionaire and tech innovator Jack Ma through his initiative, Africa's Business Heroes, which has its headquarters in Rwanda. Moving on, Rwanda Mining Board has revealed that Rwanda continues to attract investors with the capacity of advanced knowledge in the extraction of mineral resources with the aim of discovering new sites, mining them, and adding value before they are exported to the international market. We do have a report. David Rusizana is a trained specialist who specializes in the extraction, refining, alloying, and the fabrication of metals, as well as studying their properties and behavior. Rusizana says that Rwanda's mining sector needs more advanced technology to be able to increase production at least to 70%. Our production currently stands at only 30% recovery. This means that from what we have extracted, only 30% is got out, but we can raise this to at least 70% if we get advanced technologies. The chairperson of Rwanda Mining Association, Kajenga Innocent, believes that investors, both from within the country and abroad, continue to show willingness to invest in this sector of mineral resource extraction. We have over 200 mining associations and cooperatives in Rwanda as of today, and many more are applying to be accepted. We also have up to 90 associations that buy and export Rwandan produced minerals to other countries. The Chief Executive Officer of Rwanda Mines, Petroleum and Gas Board, Kamanzi Francis, explains that Rwanda's goal is attracting investors with advanced knowledge and capabilities in the extraction of mineral resources. We are currently engaging a number of investors on quite interesting aspects in this field, and part of what we are seeking to establish is having an advanced technology for recovery to be established closer to the mines so that we maximize our production. Rwanda now has 3 mineral processing industries that add value to mineral resources before they are exported to the international market. These include a gold processing plant, a tantrum processing plant, and a tin smelting facility. These industries have significantly contributed to increasing the amount of foreign exchange that Rwanda earns from export mineral resources, rising from $337.4 million in 2027 to $1.1 billion in 2023, with a target of reaching at least $2.17 billion by 2029. And now, moving on, the Rwanda Defense Force leadership has expressed satisfaction with the contribution of Rwandan troops in promoting peace and security in the Central African Republic. According to Brigadier General Ronald Rugivanga, the RDF spokesperson, their mission includes not only maintaining security but also helping the Central African Republic's military strengthen its capabilities. He has also emphasized that both men and women in RDF play an equal role in these efforts.
RDF operations in Central African Republic started way back in 2013-14 when we deployed the first force under the United Nations mission in Central African Republic. That mission was quite successful in halting hostilities between warring parties and protecting civilians in Bangui and the periphery. But in 2020, the United Nations mission in Central African Republic got a very serious challenge of a force from the former president, Francois Bozize, which attempted to topple a legitimately elected government. And there was a need for the government at the time to seek support from our country, Rwanda. And the president requested our president for, extra support in terms of, the bilateral force. So in 2020, we deployed some battle groups who managed to halt the advance of President Bozize and the coalition of patriotic change. So after halting that advance, we secured the city of Bangui and then began to train the local forces, the Central African Republic military forces, FACA. So we have now trained 3 cohorts. The first was about 600 plus, the second again 600, and today we graduated 438, 400 men and 38 women. So the objective is to build a quick reaction force that has the capacity to protect the city of Bangui and the periphery zones. So they will be able to support units that are deployed in different sectors, Sector East, Sector West, Sector Center, to complement the existing forces. So this quick reaction force is heavily trained, it is efficiently trained, and they can be able to respond to any challenges. The fact that we have 38 female is a significant achievement, and they do exactly what the men do. But in regard to our own forces as well, the UN peacekeeping force and the bilateral force, we bring in a significant number of trained ladies in different fields, operating guns, doing administrative work, fighters, doing patrols and everything. And they're doing quite a very good job, as you probably saw. Some are protecting VIPs. One of the tasks that we have is to protect VIPs. So they are doing a very good job.
Now, youths who have created their own jobs in various activities were awarded prizes for the best projects in the Youth Connect 2024 competition. They mentioned that these awards helped them expand their work and promote job opportunities for others. Enora Gladys.
Annette Moreche started her business in 2022, focusing on coffee production. In the 2024 Youth Connect competition, she won the main prize of 25 million Rwandan francs.
Elite Cafe yatangiye mu mwaka w'ibihumbi 2022. Twatangiye ubundi ari coffee shop isanzwe.
Elite Cafe started in 2022, initially as a regular coffee shop. At that time, we just wanted to sell regular coffee and make deliveries or have people come and drink coffee. But we later realized that what we were doing lacked innovation. That's when we decided to introduce the idea of a training center to teach the youth. At first, it was a challenge because we could only teach in a small place, but we kept trying. Later, we realized it was a great initiative because many of the youth found jobs through it, which encouraged us to expand and establish the training center. Winning in Youth Connect made me very happy because my project is aimed at empowering the youth, and that goal remains our mission at Elite Cafe. We will continue to teach the youth, and we are not backing down. She expanded her activities and created jobs for others, which she shares with her colleagues who also won awards in the competition, such as Ndaruhutse Merci and Joshua Biseruka. I also help others, even when the project hasn't been implemented yet. What I can say about Youth Connect is that it offers opportunities for young people, whether it's agriculture, technology, or any other field. Jen's comedy gave jobs to many people, not just comedians. We have videographers, photographers, and many others. And on the day of our event, we give jobs for about 50 people. The key is to start and show what you're capable of right away. Youth Connect, I would say, is a solution for young people who have the will to work but lack capital. During this Youth Connect Awards of 2024 that took place in February 2025, the Minister of ICT and Innovation, Ingabire Paula, highlighted that the youth should seize the opportunities they have.
Today, we're here to celebrate the talent and determination of our young people who are shaping the future, but who are also contributing with their ideas to be problem solvers in our country. I've been asked to speak on the theme of window of opportunities. And this is a powerful reminder that opportunities are all around us. But they do require that as young people, we have the vision, the courage, and the action to take up those opportunities. A window can be looked through, can be admired, or you can also choose to open the window and step into new possibilities. And for the next generation and the young people that we're with here today, this is the moment to seize those opportunities.
A total of 2,268 youth projects from across the country completed in the 2024 Youth Connect competition. Out of these, 260 projects were awarded in various districts. And at the international level, 9 projects were selected as the best in the 9 different categories. Enora Gladys, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Enora, for that report. Now moving on to matters justice. The Ministry of Justice states that since the implementation of the Alternative Dispute Resolution Policy in 2022, it has reduced the backlog of cases by 9%. However, the ministry notes that a large number of Rwandans still need to learn about and adopt this approach. This method is deeply rooted in Rwandan culture, as it was used even before the establishment of courts in Rwanda. The Ministry of Justice believes that a widespread adoption of resolving disputes outside the court would alleviate issues within the justice system, such as the high number of inmates in correctional facilities and other related concerns, as highlighted by Theophile Mbonera, the Permanent Secretary and Deputy Attorney General in the Ministry of Justice.
Of recent, we were experiencing having a percentage of 63% of case backlog in courts. But the recent actually information correction shows us that we are actually getting the case backlog at 54%, a reduction of almost 10%. I think it is really very important, and it gives us really a strength to keep on actually to maintain our strength, or to maintain our force in implementing the EDR policy. Not only that, but I would also maybe mention, we are actually experiencing also a reduction in the number of prisoners per prison compared to the last few days. So, which means if also the prisons, the correction facilities are receiving a few people compared to what used to be the case, it also means the implementation is actually producing or yielding actually fruits.
Now, from 2020 to date, more than 9,000 cases have been resolved in Rwanda outside the courts through this approach. More than 19,500 cases that had already been taken to court have also been settled. Moving on to matters health, the World Health Organization is calling on the global community to put more effort in caring for the health of mothers and newborn children, as these categories continue to show a high number of deaths. We have a report. The management of Nyagasam Health Center in Rwamagana district reports that over 50 women give birth each month at this facility, a number they find overwhelming compared to the number of staff available. These hope that the number of caregivers, including midwives and nurses, will be increased.
Usanga abaturage twakira ku munsi ari benshi. Ugasanga umuforomo arakora ntaruhuka.
We receive a high number of patients in a day, and as a result, you find that nurses are overworked. On top of that, we have only one midwife. Our hope is that we can get another to make them at least 2. According to the Minister of Health, Dr. Sabin Sazimana, Rwanda has set a goal to reduce maternal and neonatal mortality by 2029.
Muri DHS ya 2020 twari kuri
in the 2020 Rwanda Demographic and Health Survey, our maternal mortality rate was 203 mothers in every 100,000 live births. This was a very high number. In the 2000s, this number was at 1,000, which was also high. Our recent survey shows that this number stands at 105 deaths. Our target is to reduce this to at least 60. For neonatal mortality, Rwanda Demographic and Health Survey of 2020 indicated only 19 deaths, but this has dropped to 11 deaths now. Here, our target is to drop this further to 8. The Director of the Department of Maternal, Newborn, Child and Adolescent Health and Aging at the World Health Organization encourages countries to assess the existing gaps in maternal and child health care and conduct more research in this area. The World Health Organization states that nearly 300,000 women die each year during pregnancy or childbirth. Additionally, 2 million newborns die each year, with another 2 million dying within the first month after birth. This means that one child dies every 7 seconds. The World Health Organization indicates that the leading cause of maternal deaths during pregnancy or childbirth are severe bleeding and other complications related to chronic diseases such as diabetes and hypertension. Let's continue our news in Chirehe district, where private sector operators from Ngara district in Tanzania and those from Chirehe district in Rwanda said that they are set to enhance cooperation to expand trade and fully exploit the opportunities available in both regions. During a one-day visit to Chirehe district, business people from Ngara district in Kagera region of Tanzania first toured the Rusumo cross-border market, expressing their appreciation for its potential to facilitate trade development. In a meeting that brought together business people from Ngara district and Chirehe district, agreements were reached on areas that need improvement to ensure smooth operations and cooperation between the two sides. Crispin Kamjisha represents the private sector in Ngara district.
For that opportunity, we have come for this press, special for a meeting. It's a very good and grand for all readers for that press. We are receiving them well. But we expect to make the business together, because we expect that that border we must be making crossing border business marketing at a new market at the border Rwanda. Because that's a long time we are staying at the crossing border without any market, which will be put we are together. But now Rwanda is very well. They're building a good marketing. But we expect Tanzania and Rwanda, we are meeting there for the business.
Now, some Rwandan traders continue to report challenges in business due to dishonest practices by certain individuals. But the Chirehe district mayor, Bruno Rangira, assured them that these issues will be addressed. Private sector operators from Ngara district showcased some Tanzanian products they plan to supply in Rusumo cross-border market, and these include different varieties of rice, cooking oil, and other goods. Now, moving on, youths in cross-border trade say that despite Rwanda being sanctioned by foreign countries, it does not pose any concern for their business activities. Instead, they encourage others to take risks and establish scalable businesses across the border. Enora Gladys.
The youth who have created their own businesses in cross-border trade say that despite Rwanda being subjected to sanctions by foreign countries, it does not pose any concerns for their business activities. Instead, they encourage others to take risks and establish businesses that reach international level. These young entrepreneurs who have created jobs are able to operate in other countries and encourage their peers to take risks and expand their activities.
I said in 2023, since we started the export, that's where our margin then has been growing. So now today we are a profitable company instead of a company that is struggling to survive. Sure. We are proud to represent Rwanda because it's not the thing that we can be proud. You see, like 15 years ago, 20 years ago, most of, like I can say, 90% of processed products, either mayonnaise, juice, have been importing from Uganda, the cooking oil from Kenya. Now, most of the things that are locally made. Rwanda has a lot of challenges, which are also the opportunities to serve in different sectors, as there are a lot of support from the government. It's up to us to see it, because we cannot rely on support and grant. There's always the first step to analyze what you can do and do that, because there's a lot of opportunity that the government has established. It's up to us then to take that, to be like a brave.
Nk'urubyiruko rugenzi rwanjye nuko batinyuka bakaza nabo bagakora.
My fellow youth should be courageous and start engaging in cross-border trade. Many borders we use are open and the opportunities to do business are available, so they must start now. We also are engaged in this and we continue to work no matter what. Concerning the sanctions imposed on our country, we have no worries because even before the sanctions were enforced, it didn't affect the dollar to raise. Therefore, for us in business, the sanctions don't affect us much because they only motivate us to work even harder and improve our efforts. The head of Association of Cross-Border Trade at the Private Sector Federation, Rusanganwa Leon Pierre, encourages the youth to make the most of every opportunity in business.
The cross-border trade is important for Rwanda for a number of social and economic reasons. Firstly, the neighboring countries are important trading partners, accounting for 20% of the total trade. This is very important to attract youth, even women, and the other cross-border traders that are willing to work in this sector, that increasing from 20% now, cross-border trade can generate more.
According to statistics from the Private Sector Federation, there are 33,000 people involved in cross-border trade in Rwanda, 56% of whom are youth. Enra Gladys, RwandaTV News.
Koko hari umuntu ugihagarara ku nyama muri iki gihe koko buratse nitaba umukiriya kiriya biteze
ariko tayi aho gusoreza imyenda wibereye kuri telefone kweli
ariko ni kuwa mbere nawe wagwa wambo uracyari wose icyo nakubwiraga wa muntu niko ye umuntu w'umugabo ku bukwe bwe akambara kositimu itukura iciye n'amaboko noneho none se uyisuza
si wombwiye ngo ngwemo se
ntabwo ari ibi navugaga
kuwa mbere kanda akanyenyeri 345 akanyenyeri 2 urwego maze nawe ugwemo. Wikwisondeka.
Welcome back. Now let's go to the international scene, and from fighting climate change, improving trade and dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic, the outgoing Secretary General of the Commonwealth of Nations, Patricia Scotland, has highlighted her success during her 9-year tenure. Madam Patricia Scotland is scheduled to officially step down later this month. VOA spoke to her during the recent 48th meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community in Barbados. We have a report.
We pulled all of the experts together and we said, what are we going to do on climate? And they came up with this idea with us that we needed a regenerative approach to climate change, not just to adapt, not just to mitigate, but to reverse it. And in 2016, when we said we needed reversal, people were sort of saying, we're crazy, you can't reverse it. Well, you can, and we must. And if you look at 2025, everybody is now talking reversal. But then we also noticed that one of the things we weren't concentrating on was oceans, because oceans is the greatest sequestrator of carbon, and it was becoming polluted, and the world was getting hotter and hotter as a result. So we knew we had to do something practical about it. So the Commonwealth, if you remember, came up with the Commonwealth Blue Charter, which has been a phenomenal success. And then we looked at, what are we going to do about trade? We've talked on so many occasions about where the trade was. When we started talking, the trade was about 564 billion. It is now about 950 billion. It's going to be 1 trillion by 2026, 2 trillion by 2030. So that was trade. Then we We launched the Innovation Hub because we knew that there was fantastic innovation taking all across our Commonwealth. Now, how could we pool it? How could we use it? How could we share it? And after that, we went on to deal with health. None of us will forget the COVID-19 pandemic, where our health ministers came together, our people came together and really resulting, and look at all the things we've done on youth, on women, on our Commonwealth Says No More, to end violence against women and girls. But our innovation has been really amazing when it comes to the Commonwealth Climate Finance Hub. We now, with just 8.5 million, we've already delivered into the hands of our Commonwealth citizens $464 million. And we've got another 500 million in the pipeline. But there's so many things. Meridian, debt management. We now have about 4.5 trillion under management on debt, and the vulnerability index.
So, Madam Secretary General, after 9 years, when you decide or when the time is up for you to hand over, what do you plan on doing next?
Well, we just have to wait and see, because you know me, I am doing this job until the last day, wanting to make sure that all the great things we've done get handed over, because my sister from Ghana was elected in Samoa at the last Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting to be the next Secretary General. And so I want to make sure everything is in apple pie order, because I'm sure she's going to fly and she'll do a great job.
Well, I was going to ask you about your reflections as the first female Secretary General handing over to another female first from Africa. And, you know, Madam Ayoko Butchie, talk to me about your reflections on that.
Well, I think it's a real sign of where we are. You know, I always said from the beginning, if you remember, that I was the first Secretary General for the Commonwealth, but I really hoped that I wouldn't be the last. And I hoped that we would be able to seamlessly go from one good Secretary General, which I hope I've tried to be, to another good Secretary General, almost without reference to whether that person is male or female. But you must know there is a certain degree of satisfaction when you see that those who were asked to choose, and it's the heads who elect, they decided to choose another woman. So I think times are changing.
That brings us to tonight's edition, but before we go, let's have a look at the headlines one more time. President Paul Kagame has received outgoing ambassadors of both China and Angola to Rwanda for a farewell meeting as they conclude their tour of duty, while Rwanda Mining Board has revealed that Rwanda continues to attract investors with the capacity and advanced knowledge in extraction of minerals and resources. The Ministry of Justice has also urged Rwandans to learn more and adopt an alternative dispute resolution policy. That was it. Of course, we've come to the end of tonight's edition, and from me and the entire team, we wish you a good night.